Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. I am Amy and I'm going to show you my top 10 Oracle decks for 2024. I use Oracle decks during almost all my readings in combination with the tarot cards. I find them very helpful for sometimes getting clarity on the issue or the advice when I'm doing a reading. And these top 10 are kind of in order, but really it's kind of flexible. They're all really wonderful, and I did take into account as well how often I use one. So I will start with number 10 and work my way up to my absolute favorite. And I'm going to start with Madame Endora's fortune telling cards. I've had this pack, I can't even tell you how long. A long time, at least 20 years, maybe even longer. So it comes with a little booklet. I think this deck is still available. I'm not 100% sure, but it does give you an explanation of what each of the cards mean. Just a little paragraph. I find that is enough. And it says fortune telling cards, but really it's not completely fortune telling, but sometimes I just find that this deck gives me a crystal clear answer. I usually do read it intuitively first, and then I will also check the book to see what it has to say about the cards. But it does have the keywords on the bottom that gives you an idea of what the cards will mean. So this is, it gets a lot of use, especially for the Etsy readings where they just want to know an answer. So that is number 10, Madame Endora's fortune telling cards. That's copyright 2003. So yeah, I probably got this at the very beginning of my tarot reading journey. Next up is a recent purchase for 2024. And the Faux Tarot by Sandy Steen Bartholomew. Now this also comes with, it's really more of an oracle deck. It says the Faux Tarot. It's not really a tarot. It has tarot looking cards, but they have a really great message. There's no book that comes with this. It's very intuitive. Sometimes like the imagery might mean something to me specifically, or sometimes it's just the message. But the messages here are really great. Clarity, good energy, sweet, super saturation, and growth. The crystal, the fuzzy cat, ineffable fluff, engage in rapt contemplation. Really great with a little bit of a sense of humor, but really thoughtful oracle deck. And they're nice and small, which sometimes is nice when you're dealing with a spread that has a lot of cards. So I highly recommend this. She also has I have a sticker for this glued to my computer. I really love it. It's non-scary, it's very gentle, but it's very effective. Okay, so let me show you actually. I don't have actually it's right here. This is the self-help deck that kind of goes with it. I don't use this as much for readings. I use this with readings. Oh, it has a little sticker in there. This has a keyword, and it's geared more towards self-help. But this is more very, very much to do with, I think, self-reflection and facing our shadows, working with our self-development more than to use for a reading. And I think there is a difference. All right, so those are both by the same artist. All right, now let's go to the next deck. This is also used very frequently with my Etsy readings, specifically the ones that are relationship readings. And I just find that there's no book with this. I just find that this deck gives some really straightforward messages, and it's usually spot on. So let me just read that. All right. A lot of times the keywords are very helpful, but the imagery is also very evocative and gives me a lot to go on intuitively as far as what message the querent should be hearing at this time. I really like this deck. And honestly, you can see it really can be used with many different types of relationships rather, but I find it most useful for romantic relationship readings. But it is useful for other relationships as well. I also find that these are real things that come up in relationships. This is not like, I hate to use the term, twin flamey kind of like bogus nonsense that comes up in a lot of relationship readings, or that a lot of readers offer in relationship readings. This really addresses things that are very real in relationships, so I find it useful. I mean, sometimes it's infatuation. Sometimes you're eluding yourself. Sometimes, it's just drifting apart. So again, really, really useful and effective oracle for relationships, and one I've been using pretty consistently since I opened my Etsy shop, really. Great deck. All right, this next one might surprise you, but I use this not so much in conjunction with the tarot reading itself. I use this more as, once the reading is over, I just give them a message from the I Ching. And it really just, almost always the card that is chosen matches the message of the reading so well, and just really confirms. And this deck I had created on make playing cards, and you have to pay to have it printed, but the deck itself is free on Benebell's site. So this is a deck designed by Benebell. I purchased it after I purchased her I Ching book that came out, I think, last year. And it just is a great oracle deck, and I use it all the time. I think it's meant more as flashcards for memorization, but I use it a lot. And it gives wonderful, thoughtful, spiritual messages with the readings. And yeah, so this I use a lot. All right, so now we're getting into some very intuitive decks, less fortune telly, and just really beautiful. This is Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. Okay, and I love how the images trigger a response in me, an intuitive thought in me. I like the key phrases. I like an oracle deck with a key phrase or a key word. And I like Colette Baron Reed a lot. I like all her decks. I have a lot of her decks, including her Good Tarot. They're beautiful, but they're really good. Yes. So this imagery is beautiful. and very helpful in a reading. And I did bring out one of the decks I most often use this deck with, although not exclusively. I use this with any deck. I am not married to certain pairings. It really is okay. I'll use this with a Rider-Waite deck. I'll use this with any deck if I feel inclined. Let me show you the book first. So here is an example. It gives you just the essential meanings, and then it gives you a message from the Oracle. And then the book also goes into the meaning if it's for a relationship, if your question is around prosperity, around protection. I think that's it. Yeah, and I really like that she provides a different message for different types of readings. The deck I use this often with is this Tarot of Mystical Moments, which is in my top 10 of 2024. It's a different artist and author, designer, but you can see the imagery is very dreamlike, similar to this one. If I put them side by side, you can see they just go well, right? Okay, so that is The Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. Next, and let me see, what is this? Number 5? No, number 6. Number 6 on the list is the Sustain Yourself Oracle by James Wanless. It comes in a huge heavy box, which I have packed away because it comes with this large book. I would have loved a nice magnetic box for this with a book that was smaller, because you could see he really does not write a lot of information about the deck. Each card, it's enough, but this could very easily have been printed in a much smaller book that would have been easier to refer to, because you could keep it right with the deck. This is a very large deck. And by the way, I love James Wanless. I took a workshop with him at the Reader Studio. He's such an amazing, I think alive would be a great way to describe him. But this Oracle came out shortly. I got it right away. In other words, I have his tarot deck, which is an amazing collage deck, and it's been around forever. It's called the Voyager Tarot. I don't use it for readings often, but this deck is beautiful and thought-provoking. There are, geez, how many cards? I don't even know. Does it say in the book? I don't know. I think it has 101 cards, but don't quote me on that. Stone, solidity. So there's pictures of pebbles, gravel, a huge boulder. So stone, what does that mean to you? There's a lot of ecological kind of imagery. But really, this deck is gives you information, but is very open to intuitive interpretations, which I love. I also love that it is kind of wide in scope. It has images of the universe, images of, vegetation and plants, images of the earth, images of animals, artifacts, so many things. Like this is it looks like an x-ray of the lungs. The keyword is breath. It's called oxygenation. Here's wheat, So really just a very comprehensive and wide range of imagery to give you insights into your tarot reading. Love this one. Nothing. Great deck. Population, sheep being herded. That speaks volumes, right? Face to face. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well thought out deck. Okay. I use this mostly, often, very often with myself, but occasionally with clients, usually live clients. Okay, so that's number 6, and I just realized I have 11 decks set aside, so you're going to get my top 11 by accident. All right, next up, so this is number 7. Oh, sorry. You know what? I really forgot that I'm not counting backwards here. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So this is actually the 5th. So it's my 5th favorite. The Citadel Oracle, a fantasy oracle. It has a great little box. I love that it's sturdy, and I love that it holds the deck and the book together. If I understand correctly, this is based on gaming. You can actually play a game with it. The imagery is okay. It's got like metallic shininess to it. It does have symbolism. This is the astronomer. It has elemental symbols here as well. The merchant. A lot of these are very archetypal. The champion, right? The enhancer. And I find that it's the archetype that I find very useful when giving someone a reading. I've only been using this now for a couple of months. I hemmed and hawed because, like I said, the imagery is not very inspiring to me. I don't think it's very beautiful either. I can tell it's all digital art that may or may not have been created by the designer. I'm not 100% sure, but I like the archetypes and I like the keywords. Let's take a look at the book. It's an instruction booklet and how it works, and then the card meetings. The court, the academy, the crowd, and the troop. And then, yes, you can game with this deck. So it gives a standard and a reversed meaning for each card. And I do often refer to the book as well. Some Oracle decks, I don't need to refer to the book as much, but because the imagery, I do use the imagery to intuit, but it's really more about the actual archetype. So I do refer to the book often when using this, but I've only had this for like 3 months, and I've been using it a lot, and I find it very effective and very useful in the readings. So that is the Citadel Tarot. I'm kind of impartial about the shape, but I think it's a nice size, and the shape doesn't seem to make it any more difficult to shuffle, so it's all good. The next up is number 4. This is a Hay House deck, and this is another, I mentioned Colette Baron Reid. This is another Hay House author that I really like almost everything she does, but this is the Oracle deck that I use the most. And it has a keyword, but really it's about the imagery and how effective it is at translating into a message for my querents or myself. But there's so much to pull from these images that I find them really just fantastic. I also like the keywords, and the book is also really good. So this has been a long time favorite. Been using this deck for years. And like I said, it's beautiful. It's thought-provoking. It's my intuition. It speaks in my intuitive voice. How's that? Really, really awesome. The book is pretty good. It gives you the background of it, and it gives you kind of like a message from the Oracle. So it's fairly simple, but it's enough because the images speak for themselves as far as I'm concerned. Really, really beautiful. This is number 4. Still used very frequently. Sacred Destiny by Denise Lynn. All right. This next one here is pretty new. The Illuminated Earth Oracle by where is the creator's name? It's a hand-painted and collage deck of 63 cards, inspired by the essence of the natural world and its cycles. Each card is intuitively rendered to represent the symbolic joining of spirit and matter. That's what I love about this deck, I think. It's very spiritual. For the seeker whose feet are on the earth and soul is in the stars, this deck is offered for contemplation and transformation. All right. Really gorgeous. I will. Let's. The creator's name is nowhere to be found. It is copyright Claire Mack 2018. Claire Mack. And she has a website, Illuminated Art or Earth Oracle. So I use this a lot for my clients who are really seeking deep meaning in their life, are going through difficult times, challenging times. And not only is the imagery beautiful, exceptionally beautiful, it's also very intuitive. I love the keywords. I love the meanings I get from these images, and I love the theme of this oracle. I use it a lot for myself, and I use it a lot for clients. A couple of times I've actually chosen cards for my client. This is a very healing deck. I always am looking for an oracle deck that's more of a spiritual nature and less of a fortune-telling kind of nature. And many are really, I have many that are good at that, but I think if I were to choose just one, it would definitely be this one. And honestly, I might even say that this is my favorite oracle. But I have 2 others in front of it simply because I use them very frequently, especially for clients. But spiritual theme, for spiritual healing and growth, this one, hands down, I think I found the one when it comes to spiritual healing and spiritual growth. This is the one. But it also does connect you to Earth. Very, very beautiful deck. Very perfect size, beautiful gilded edges, sturdy box, nothing too fancy, but it's really quite adequate. The little white book has about a paragraph for each card, and it's in alphabetical order. She talks a little bit about the art. Claire Mack. Excellent, excellent oracle. All right, the top two, and the decks I usually use it with. So this deck was also in my top 24 tarot. It's the Ink Witch Tarot deck. And I almost always, when I read with that deck, use the Oracle deck created by the same artist, Eric Mail. This is I don't know how many cards. I think it's probably between 30 and 40. And I got this on a Kickstarter. And the artist said he made the box a little bigger because he might in the future make expansion packs for this Oracle, which I would buy in a heartbeat. This deck, this Oracle, not only does it go beautifully with his other art, obviously because it's the same author, same artist, excuse me, but this is another one that intuitively just speaks volumes. It really talks right to me. It comes with an excellent book, but I rarely have to refer to it. Usually I get so much just from the image and the key phrase that is on the cards. It's mostly like black and very like midnight blue, black and white with some midnight blue. It's very with little flashes of color here and there to when it's effective, right? And whatever it means to you is what it means to you. And often when I do use this, I do give it the intuitive reading. And then I also will go in and read to the client from the book because it's just so wonderfully done and very helpful. So the material, it does not have pictures, and that's fine. It kept the cost down for the Kickstarter, but it gives you a general meaning. In larger readings, it gives you things to look out for, creative notes, and he talks about the symbolism that is used in the cards. So this is really a very well written booklet. I keep it near the cards, and it's just a great deck, and I think it is still available on his website. And that is The Endless Oracle by Eric Mail. The final Oracle, number 1, I got it on her. I remember she had a notice that she was going to run out of decks. I think it was Ethany, she being Ethany. It was mid-year, I think. And you know, I had just gotten the Cosmic Wisdom Tarot, or I just ordered it on her Kickstarter. This almost made my top 10. It probably will be in my top 10 for next year. I didn't have it long enough for it to really be in the top 10 for 2024. But I use it often with this tarot deck also by Ethany Dawn, but I think a different artist. But they go very well together. It comes with a great book, and it is an oracle deck, but it also can tend to be very self-help in a practical way. But I love the artwork. I love the colors. It has a key word, but it also leaves a lot for you to interpret. Compassion, and then there's also like destruction. It's like understanding where a person is coming from. So there's a lot to read into this, and it could be like compassion has nothing to do with what I pick up when I'm pulling this card. It just depends. Each time I use the deck, it's different, and it's just excellent. It's an excellent choice of keywords, okay? Topics, if you will, with so much imagery that can really add depth to the meaning, and also an open palette, if you will, to interpret it in so many different ways. Like, are you the bird? Are you the person setting the bird free? Maybe, what does the cage represent to you or your querent? What does this whole scene represent to you? Fun in a safe way? What do all the colors mean? Could this be very significant to my querent if they are queer themselves? Perhaps this could be a hidden message to them when they see it in the reading. So there's so much to glean from these cards. Sanctuary, you know, does not that reflect sanctuary? Leadership. It seems to be mostly around women. Surrender. That would scare the hell out of me, by the way. But a lot of people would get a great thrill from that. Look at this one. What's the cute word here? Challenge. I see this as planning, thinking things through, being tactical. Like, don't underestimate your opponent. I mean, there's so many things. What's behind this little thin curtain back there? Where is she getting her knowledge? There's so much. I support women and cis women. So this is definitely another very powerful card. And are you the person supporting, or are you the person in need of support? So this is my #1 oracle. I would say, you know, I did say this is my favorite in a spiritual sense, but this is my favorite in just real life kind of stuff. It just covers every topic. It's very inclusive. It's very beautiful. I love the colors. Let's take a little look at the book. I don't use it much, but I also would say that every book by Anthony Dawn is usually very good. Give some spreads, but this is about what she includes for each card. It's a little black and white image, keywords. Here's the story, the awakened soul story, and then the meaning, a shadow meaning, very helpful, an affirmation, and then personal reflections that you can think about when this card comes up for you. So very nice little booklet that comes with the deck. I love it when the books and the deck fit in the box together. Even if they're really thick, I really just like them to be in the box together so that I don't have to, you know, keep them in two separate places and worry about them getting separated. So I really love that. And that, my friends, is the top 11 Oracle decks for 2024. I would love to hear about what your favorite Oracle decks are. I'm always on the lookout for great Oracle decks. And love to hear what other people are finding useful. So thank you for joining me. I hope you appreciate this. I'll put a link to my top 10 tarot in the comments below. Let me know if there are any other things you'd like to see or hear about on this channel. I'd love to hear what you're looking for. Thanks for joining me, and have a great 2025.